Is a revolt that is going on within the Democratic Party right now, Democrats and their leaders. I mean, take a look nationally. Hello, Democrats on Dem leaders in Congress. The belief that they will do the right thing when it comes to the economy. Last year at this time, 80% believed that the Democratic leaders in Congress would do the right thing when it comes to the economy. And keep in mind, this is Democrats. Look at where we are now. That number has been slashed in half to just 39%. Holy Toledo, that is the lowest number by far in Gallup polling. The lowest previous was just 60%, which is 21 points higher than this. Democrats hate what their congressional leaders in Washington are doing right now on the key issue of the day, the economy, and their confidence has fallen through the floor, Mr. Berman.
No message. They've got no movement. They've got no leader. I mean, it doesn't get any worse than that. I mean, you're defending Harvard. You're traveling to El Salvador for MS-13 gang members. But here's the point. You're taking $20 million. If I'm looking at someone, my vice chair of the RNC, taking $20 million for another effort, it's $20 million out of the DNC's pocket. You can't be on the board of the Fishing and Forest Company and on Greenpeace at the same time. There are places for groups to hold the party accountable. I think it's right.
Yeah, let me push back against that. This was not an MS-13 gang member, and you damn well know that.
Oh, come on.
He was not.
Okay,
and
so keep defending this guy.
The administration admitted this was wrong. In America, we have due process, and we are a land of law and order. We are a land of law and order. And this administration is repeatedly showing time and time again they do not care about what the Supreme Court says. They do not care about the rule of law. And you cannot defend sending people to another country.
Just did a poll
to another country where they don't have rights.
Think that
where he's
all
denied counsel, due process,
should be
and so much
deported,
more.
by the way. So you're losing your effort. So if you want to try to defend the constitutionality of deporting a illegal immigrant that's here.
He took a lot of time to come every single year.
He's here illegally. The Intel community, every Intel community agency and the White House say he is a member of MS-13.
Hey, Reince. Okay, Reince.
AOC has done nothing meaningful in Congress. She's done it all on social media. And she's one of your leading names in who's going to be president. Do you not get this concept of 80-20? She's an 80-20 loser all day long. Why? She is clearly catering to a minority. She's her own version of MAGA. She's looking for an outraged enclave. She's not about the majority. She's not about consensus. She's not about solutions. She wants government to give you everything. She's a socialist in a capitalist society. What are you thinking?
As you saw from the intro, there's a revolt going on in the Democratic Party. Under 40% of the Democrats actually trust or believe that their leadership will do the right thing when it comes to the economy, at least. And it just goes to show more of this media narrative that they keep trying to push, that somehow Trump supporters are regretting their vote. But it seems like a Democratic voter is more likely to regret their vote than a Republican one. I see videos and clips online about people who voted for Kamala Harris and are happy that Donald Trump is actually holding up his end of the bargain by doing things that he said he would do. And some of them say, I kind of wish I had supported Donald Trump there. But the media, they want to keep projecting these narratives that's, oh my God, Trump is losing support, right? And one of the issues is the tariffs. And I think I want to show this clip in between before I get into my segment here about how Bhatia highlights that Trump made a decision that he knew in the short term would hurt him. And you'll see all the liberal people on this panel try to argue that fact that he did something noble and self-sacrificing against his own interests, because it'll be so easy for a normal politician to just go along to get along, not rock the boat, not do anything differently, and get a safe approval rating, but at the long-term cost of the country. And I think Donald Trump made a trade where he said, hey, I'm going to take the hit short-term, but we'll prosper long-term. And I think the media, they can't handle that. A lot of Americans see it this way. And even look at the prompt before I start the video. Look at the prompt that CNN puts out. And this is why I said that the purpose of these news outlets is try to portray a certain perception and infer how you're supposed to react to these things. Trump lashes out as Americans give him bad report card. And I think this explanation by Bhatia is something that I kind of agree with.
What about the issues that he ran on, which is to bring down the cost of living, just make people's lives better right now?
I think there are certain things that we all around the table would agree on that urgently needed a course correction in this country, which were going to be very difficult they're unpalatable for the nation. I think probably we could all agree that our relationship with China was deeply problematic. That when we relied on China for the very medications we needed to fight the pandemic that came from China, unsustainable.
And we'll talk a lot more about China in the
that we
next
will rely
segment.
on China to build the ships we would need if, God forbid, we ever got into war with them. Unsustainable. That the trade relationships we have with the rest of the world, unsustainable. The tariffs are the reason that he is struggling in the polls, but he knew that this was going to be a period that is going to be very painful, and he still had the guts to do it. This is something that he deserves a lot of credit for.
I also think
because he knew that it was going to hurt, and he did it anyway.
And it's like, oh, he didn't know that he didn't know that it was going to do that. He didn't know it was going to do that, or he didn't run on that. I think that's what I heard. What do you mean he didn't run on tariffs? Trump didn't run on tariffs. This man been talking about tariffs since the 80s, 70s. Hell, he was saying this on Oprah. He was talking about tariffs, and it's so funny how they want to make this argument that Donald Trump promised to make people's lives better, and he is. But he's saying, hey, look, you're going to be in a little pain. Don't panic. And what your media people are trying to do, create panic. And this is the funny part, create fear. And that's why I said Democrats have nothing but fear on their side. If you look at how they go about things, everything the Democrats do is to obstruct and get in the way of Donald Trump. And then when he gets to low approval ratings, they're happy. Why? Because this is the effect that they want to cause. They don't want Trump to succeed. Because if Trump succeeds, it'll highlight an even bigger spotlight on the Democratic Party. And this is why they're so unpopular. But before I continue, I want to show you some examples of Democrats doing their damn best to get in Trump's way, starting from immigration all the way to voter integrity rights. Let's take a look.
I think there's a difference between saying whether you're complying with the law and then you have these individual district court judges setting effectively broad federal policy that is specifically reserved for the president of the United States. I think we do have a constitutional crisis, and it's being caused by these judges. They're not here to tell us. They're not here to tell us how to spend the money. They're not here to set broad federal policy. That is the president's job as elected by the people. These judges are supposed to be settling discrete, specific matters, not policy setting. I think Vance is right. I think Trump has a point. And these judges want nothing more to continue the lawfare against Trump.
I don't think anybody's going to be surprised to hear that you think Trump is right.
They're doing this on
However,
I get it. You want individual federal judges who hate Donald Trump.
No, I don't.
To tie him up for 4 years.
No, I don't.
If you want a big policy questions decided, let the Supreme Court do it. But in the interim, the executive has to be allowed to govern.
Look, the American people voted for this. American people voted for Donald Trump. This is number one issue. Vast majority of Americans want illegal aliens moved from this country, and it's done humanely. However, we got to remember this. There are millions of people standing in line, taking their tests, doing their background investigation, paying their fees to be part of the greatest nation on earth. They're sitting in the back seat while 10.5 million illegal aliens came to this border, enter this country illegally, which is a violation of law. There's right way and right way to come to this country legally. The people who came across, they call them asylum seekers, but you and I both know, if you look at the immigration court data, 9 out of 10 of those so-called asylum seekers will end up with an order removal. They overwhelm the system on purpose. Why? Because they know it's going to take 5, 7, 9 years to have a hearing, which they will lose, but now they have U.S. citizen kids. Now they own equities. Now there may be Democratic administration in power, which will award amnesty. They're playing the long game, but we're enforcing laws as enacted by Congress, which you remember of. We're not making this up. We're enforcing laws on the books, including the Alien Enemies Act, which is an act created by Congress. We're simply using laws on the books to make this country safe again.
I just want to put a spotlight on this because, you know, Democrats want to talk about due process. Barack Hussein Obama, 75% of illegals deported received no due process. Clinton, 90% of illegals deported received no due process. All of a sudden, Democrats in 2025 want 100% of illegals to receive due process because now it's about votes. Barack Obama, if you're a criminal, you'll be deported. If you plan to enter the country illegally, your chance of getting caught and sent back just went up. The actions I'm taking are not only lawful, they are kind of actions taken by every single Republican president and every single Democratic president for the past half century. But all of a sudden, Donald Trump wants to do it, and now it's a problem. Now you're blocking him from passing executive orders? Huh? This is why I said that in my video, that the liberals believe Donald Trump has no right to govern or even speak. They don't want to treat Donald Trump like a president. They want to treat Donald Trump like he's a dictator that they're fighting against. And Scott Jennings is absolutely right about the constitutional crisis. These people are literally trying to waste Donald Trump's presidency and tie him up in court. That takes 5 years to adjudicate. They get proven wrong in the end, but it already had the desired effect. Wait out Donald Trump. This is their plan. This is the Democrats' plan. Get in the way of a possible solution. And this is my problem with the Democrats. The Democrats don't offer any solutions to any of the problems. It's exactly like Chris Cuomo said in the intro of this video. You want to pick AOC, but what AOC has done for her district? If you go to AOC's district in the Bronx, whatever she represents, high rate of prostitution there, crime, people can't wear anything nice on them or they'll get robbed. That's AOC's district. But what's she out here? Champagne socialism. She's here doing private jets. When she flies commercial, she's doing business first class. She living the good life on taxpayer money. And this is why I always say I can't trust a progressive. I can never trust them. Trusting the progressive is like trying to throw a house across the yard. You can't do it. You can't trust a progressive or a socialist. Because at the end of the day, it's a finesse. Socialism is a glorified Ponzi scheme. Tell me I'm lying in the comment section. Anyone who believes in communism, socialism, is just a gullible fool. Sorry. I'm sorry. Your heart may be in the right place, but you're a gullible fool. Every self-proclaimed socialist attempt to do socialism the right way and always seems to fail. So why should we even give you a shot at it? 80-20 loser, perfect summary from Chris Cuomo. Yet these people want to put up this narrative that Donald Trump supporters are regretting their vote. What kind of baloney is this? You're the party that's revolting. You're the party that might lose out to AOC. Make it make sense. A congresswoman who has done nothing for her, or no concrete outcomes for her communities, for those that she represents. And you're going to say people regret their vote for Donald Trump. Donald Trump's only been in office for 4 months. It took your guy 2 years to get negative GDP growth, cause a recession, have the highest rate inflation rate in 40 years. But in 4 months, you expect my guy, Donald Trump, to fix all that? It took 4 years. It took 2 years, sorry. It took 2 years for Joe Biden to mess up the economy. But you can't give Donald Trump 4 months to get his... come on. The media, bruh. Your bias it's palatable. It's palatable. Like, this is annoying. It's starting to get annoying now. And I think I want to show this this segment here because it perfectly encapsulates what the American people moved away from when it comes to the Democratic Party. Let's take a look.
Are in the White House versus last time, where it was Gary Cohn and some others who were.
Well, the whole, the populists, it's populists versus more classic conservatives, and we'll see who wins out. I think, I'm not for nothing, but aren't you glad Bessent's there?
I'm very glad.
That's what I think. Yes. Scott's there, and and he seems he's so calm, and like when we talk to him,
so well.
And I think he might be like that when there's chaos around him, and he's like, hey, this is just, and when push comes to shove, I don't know what actually happens. Yeah. I'm just worried it's going to be so long. I think we're talking about 2020, 2029 or something, 2028.
It has not yet been 100 days.
You're not going to make it.
I was thinking the idea that it has not been.
I've said the country's going to be fine, but I mean, and I'm back to the counterfactual. Most Trump supporters at this point, even if they're disillusioned, it would take probably World War III to wish that Kamala Harris had won that election.
I think exactly. And this is what liberals don't seem to understand. Like all this little fear, like we know you were going to do this already. We know you're going to, every little thing he's going to do, you're going to create some type of outrage. You're going to freak out over something. He gives an opinion about how Jerome Powell is doing his job, his monetary policy. All of a sudden, there's outrage from Avi Phillips and her type, her ilk, complaining about it on all. And I'm like, yo, reasonable person goes, every president has made some type of comment about the Federal Reserve chair that's in power right now. Like, but Donald Trump do it. They treat it as like it's some unprecedented thing. And this is the annoying thing about the Democratic Party. They're people that's associated with them. They're only around each other. It's annoying. It's honestly annoying. And he has it right. It'll take World War III. It'll take us going to war for actual support for Donald Trump to tank. Because the priorities that a lot of these liberal journalists project is not the same priorities as people who were willing to vote for Donald Trump. And it seemed like they don't understand that disconnect. Let's continue.
I think that one of your fans and Trump supporters wrote on Twitter yesterday to you that an auto pen would have been better.
No, but I don't.
So
I don't
let's
think that's.
just understand.
I don't think
how
that's
people
true.
Really.
Well,
that
that's
was
what we
remark about.
Well, did
Biden.
you like the 4 years of auto pen? Did you like the 11?
Yeah, actually, the markets did. The economy did. Yes, actually.
No one's wages.
Yeah, exactly. No one's wages. Let me stop cutting this guy off.
Went up, okay. And you had 11 million illegal aliens come into this country.
Yep.
I know that's okay with you, but you're worried about this one going back. The rule of law was.
I am worried about the rule of law.
Yeah, but not for 11 million. Not for. They totally ignored the rule of law coming here. Now you're talking about it again. So it's back to whataboutism, and so 11 million is fine. Well, when did you talk about the rule? When did you talk about the rule of law when the border was open?
Constantly.
Okay. This man a liar.
We got a lot to get through.
This man a liar, bro. It's like the Democrats. We had a comprehensive plan for border security. Well, we're looking at this comprehensive. We look at the results of this comprehensive plan, and it seemed like you just wanted to flood the system with a bunch of illegals that you knew it would take forever if we did it the way you want us to do it. Tie us up in courts, do all these legal challenge, and then well, look what you know. Trump's not president anymore. Give a Democratic chance to continue status quo. Come on, guys. This is not amnesty. Trump promised the most deportation in history, and he's trying to do it, and they're trying to preserve Barack Hussein Obama's title as deporter-in-chief. Democrats, they only stand for getting in the way, right? And I want to show you the Democratic Party's constituents, who they truly appeal for, right? Democratic women. Democratic women is the avatar to which a lot of these Democrats appeal to. And I think that's why they always push women politicians in the Democratic Party, is because they know this is their true voting base.
We were really south on kitchen table issues. We weren't really good about the family room issues.
I disagree with you. I disagree with you 100
Okay, the only room we were do really well was the bathroom. And that's the smallest room in the house.
That is such bullshit. That is total bullshit. That is buying into the right-wing media narrative. And I'm so sick of Democrats like you selling out and saying this. You know who talks about trans people more than anybody? MAGA. MAGA is the most genital-obsessed political party I have ever seen. Kamala Harris talked about homeownership. She talked about kitchen table issues. Trump's over there droning on about Hannibal Lecter. Are you kidding me? This is where the Democrats lose.
This is where left-wing media lose. You focus on the things that American people don't focus on. You focus on that to make a narrative. American people focus on, no tax on tips. You're going to secure the border. You want tariffs, but this is why you articulate tariffs as the proper approach to give us fair trade. You want Americans to not need to pay taxes under $150,000. Trump wants you to keep 100% of your money in your pocket, and he wants the entire government to be able to be run on tariffs. This is the substantive stuff that American voters who actually voted for Donald Trump focused on. What you focused on? Hannibal Lecter. That's what you took out of the whole thing. Okay. He talked about Hannibal Lecter maybe 15, 20 minutes out of a 2-hour speech, usually 1 hour and 30-minute speech. So you forgot the rest of the hour and 10 minutes, and you only focus on the 20 minutes he's talking about Hannibal Lecter. Typical left-wing nut. And look at the demographics, but she fits the Democratic demographics. This is who the Democratic Party appealed to. Liberal women. I'm not going to do race. And a lot of people had a problem with me pointing out race. I'm not going to do race. Democrat women, whether it be black, Latina, whatever. That's who they appeal to, women. And they can win on this emotional argument, but the practicality of it, though, is it practical to not have a common understanding of what a woman is? Is it practical to sit here and try to justify why a 7-year-old has the autonomy to cut off his own genitals, make long-term ramifications that can affect their entire life. You think that's okay? You think it's okay to tell parents that they can lose custody of their children? It's considered child abuse if you don't let your kid make a decision that can cut off their genitals. You think that's a good thing? You think Democrats should run on that? This is why I believe that these people are so out of touch with reality. What was the number one ad that Donald Trump spent the most money on, and it was the most effective at winning independence? Can you let's play the song. Do 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 do. It was his ads about Kamala Harris saying that she would give transition surgery to prisoners, using taxpayer money to transition prisoners to a different gender. That was the ad that Donald Trump won on, and that one converted the most voters to his side. But you want to talk about that's such BS and you're buying into the right-wing echo chamber. Get out of here. Excuses. Always. Excuses. That's like someone who just finished getting blown out by 30. Our shots wasn't falling. The refs. Always looking for something to blame. Instead of blaming, we wasn't good enough. We didn't make proper arguments. No self-reflection whatsoever. And if Kamala Harris runs again, she's going to get the same results. She's going to lose again. But hey, sometimes they got to learn the hard way.
Because we're playing the game with the rule book. They've ripped the rule book up and are cramming it down everybody's throat. And Democrats are upset because Joe Biden pardoned his son. We got to fucking fight. They're the gender-obsessed weirdos, not us. We're the ones who fight for Social Security. We fight for Medicare. And yeah, we're not going to bully trans people. We're not going to fucking do it. Fine.
Hey, let me say this. As mayor, 2016, I dealt with the bathroom issue. It's just not my most important issue. It was dealt with, and I appropriately dealt with marriage equality, as I said.
Well, it's certainly important to the Republicans. For me, it's just important not to bully them. And I think this is
I agree with that. I'm not disagreeing.
The argument here is the false framing from this liberal woman, right? It's not about bullying trans people. It's about trans people not bullying other people. Trans people want privilege. They don't want equality in this part. Like, what a part of equality is someone needs to call me a certain way. Someone needs to believe that I am a certain thing. You're essentially you being oppressive. Trans people are being oppressive. You're forcing somebody to acknowledge you in a way that they don't think is true. Let's play the game of my truths. If someone believes you're not a woman, just because you dress up one and you cosplay as one, that's their right to say that. And because it may offend you, hey, that's free speech. Someone has the right to offend you. You do not have a right, trans people, to walk in this world without being offended. That's not your right. That's oppression. You want everyone else to conform to your version of reality? Make that make sense. How's that not? That's conversion. It's almost like a religious conversion. You're only allowed to observe one religion in this country. Everyone will say that's oppressive. But for some reason, a delusional person, transgender person, who walks around and says, I identify as this and you all must see me this way, or you're a bigot. You don't think that's oppression? You don't think that's authoritarian? The emperor has no clothes. That's the trans people. Trans equal fake. Oh, I'm a trans woman. Oh, you're a fake woman. Oh, okay. Everyone knew what a woman was. Adult human female. Everyone knew what a male is. Adult human male. The definition was tied down by biological realities. And Democrats sit here and brainwash generations of people to think that it's exclusive. They're mutually exclusive. Gender and sex are not the same thing. They taught a whole curriculum like that. Like language don't have a function. What's the function? What's the purpose of language? Me, I'm always about practicality. What's the purpose of language? Communicate what you observe in reality. Okay, so if I see a woman, I say, hey, there, look at that woman over there, and you have a different definition of what a woman is, it makes communication. You might as well be speaking a different language. And this is the problem with the left. The left lost the minute they made common sense right wing. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Thoughts, concerns? I'd like to hear your perspective in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Please share this video if you feel so inclined. It really does help me out in the algorithm. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.